We like back to when you even like started like fundraising. We actually I don't know if you know Jess Fleischer from Son of a Tailor.
Yeah, I've spoken to him.
Yeah,
quite a
also
few times.
sustainable fashion brand. We had him on our first episode actually.
Yeah.
And we asked him whether being an impact startup, as we like to define the business, if it ever affected his fundraising journey actually. And he responded that he actually never sold his idea as being an impact startup because for his point of view, the investors would always focus on the profits. Is that something that you experienced?
So I don't profits, no. Revenue, yes. I would say. I think it's a bit different because I think we early on we might have managed to get a few angel investors because they like the team and they like the idea from the standpoint that they thought, yeah, the world needs this, so that's a good idea. And I think to some degree we do get it. We also, the latest investment we got from a French VC fund in 2019, they only invest in companies with a sustainable angle.
All right.
And we also like to go with investors or VCs that share that sort of vision because then we speak the same language and they're not gonna. Because often sustainability will be a profit trade-off. You can be more profitable if you do some things the not sustainable way, and you don't want to have that next board meeting where that becomes a point of discussion that you shouldn't take the sustainable choice because it's going to be more costly, right? So you need to make sure that you're completely aligned. So I would always prefer to work with investors that have that same mindset.
This is super good advice.
Yeah.
Did it ever change your perspective, Daniel? I'm thinking that you are not specifically impact oriented at Bumble Ventures. So like looking forward, has this journey like opened your eyes to sustainable brands?
Yeah, I think that's the right way to say it. That this journey has opened my eyes. I mean, I started doing this back in 2016, and we didn't have we have to do it in sustainable avenues and stuff like that. So I've been through an education, I think, with these guys as well, and with sort of coming to the conclusion lately, especially also talking to you guys and Christoph always pushing, that I mean a lot of the founder talent is seeking towards impact, right? And they're not saying, okay, we're going to do charity, we're going to say we're going to do great businesses, but great businesses are going to grow in impact going forward. And I think that signal is pretty clearly picked up by a guy like me. Yeah. So whether even if I can have my own personal opinions about the importance of that, but as an investor on behalf of my LPs, I'm forced to take an interest. I think everyone, even if you call yourself a generalist fund, you're forced to take an interest in these huge opportunities there, because I think that's where the founder talent will go. And I think if you spend time together with, you can of course also get to that conclusion from behind your desk, but if you spend time with people who poke you in that direction, it goes faster. So, yeah.
And you have a few other companies in your portfolio that are impact. There's the company Her, I think in the US is one of them, for example.
I guess from the social,
exactly.
social angle there, right? Yeah. Again, not an investment we made because it was impact, just because Robin is a kick-ass founder and it's a great company. So, but yeah, we do have. I mean, but those have arrived in the portfolio from the angle of being good business people. I mean, that's how they got in there.
And you don't treat them any different from the other ones.
No,
basically.
Oh God, no, not at all. But it is just. But that those journeys have, of course, then contributed to being more aware that more and more that's just going to be where it is, right? I mean, even if we didn't do anything, our funnel of talent coming into us is just going to be more and more those people. Yeah. So, anyways, it's a way of saying that. I mean, if you spend time around founders and you've spent time around founders for the last couple of years, you will notice a more purpose means something, right, to top talent. So, yeah.
So if an impact startup came to you, then they would convince you by having a kick-ass team and not necessarily by pitching how impactful they are.
Sorry.
It would if an impact startup came to you and asked for funding, would you take them because of their kick-ass team or because of their amazing impact? What should they
Good-
pitch to you?
Well, I mean, what they should pitch. I mean, they obviously have to be a great team. That's important. But just because the mechanics of doing a startup doesn't really work if it's not great talent. But I mean, they would just sort of have to show me the business potential of solving this problem, right? And that argument could be made in so many ways, right? From the consumer standpoint, anyone who doesn't buy into the idea that people with a lot of money in their pocket more and more care about, vote with their money and are willing to pay a premium for sustainably produced garments, for example, stuff like that. Anyone who doesn't buy into that, I just don't think is a good business person, is investing on behalf of the LP. So they would just have to make the case that, okay, here's the business case for investing in impact. For Bumble Ventures, they would at least have to do that until we get a mandate just to do charity. But we don't have that mandate yet.
No.
But I just think it's increasingly getting. I'm increasingly getting easier and easier convinced of that business case there, not just in consumer but in B2B as well. Yeah.
Did you see some specific advantages of, or I don't even know if you targeted like a VC in contrast to a private investor?
Got it. No, in the beginning you take what you can get, right? and
Plus, we weren't really a VC.
No, they weren't. I think in
so
the beginning.
So you just needed the cash.
Yeah, no. Then it's about like just catching the first investors, so you can tell the other investors that, oh, these guys are on and there's a lot of traction now and everybody's fighting to get in this round, and like try and like frame it like that, right? But I think as we've grown and learned more about the game, definitely we've also had one investor that is not an investor anymore because it didn't work.
It didn't.
Or one venture capital fund. So we've learned a lot, and I think we're trusting our intuition way more now, because with the one previous partner that didn't work, we felt that from the beginning, but we needed the money, so there wasn't that much to do in the end, right? But I think I just want to comment on what you said. I think what we've talked about, the partnership between Bumble and Organic Basics, it's been very much, so Daniel has been supporting so much on the financial side, right, especially towards me, but I think that the more important role they've taken is that they are the ones we call when something is on fire and when it's really going down, right, because I think it comes more down to like the personal connection. And so, for example, last night, Daniel and I had a meeting, we were out drinking beer and we were talking, right? It's a different investor relationship, and it's someone where you trust a lot, and we've been through so much shit together, right? That I think it's about also really trusting both your investor group, but also the people who will then be in your board to sort of like support the founder's vision, and not try and come in as an investor or VC and think you know better than the founders do and what they want to do with their vision. It's still their company. You might own a small stake in it, right?
Yeah.
But you need to empower them and support them, because also investors, I assume, wouldn't want any like founders that would just be like, okay, what do you guys think we should do? Because like you want someone that like know what they want to do, right?
Yeah. I concur. I mean, you invest in people who own their own business. It's so easily forgotten, I think, I feel sometimes it's forgotten because there's this construction we have called venture capital, where okay, you come with the money, and you come with all this value add, and we're good at, as VCs, at saying we have all this value add, which, I mean, there is also something, but in the fog of all that, I feel like sometimes it gets lost that that's not what, as a VC, you shouldn't invest in, you shouldn't be able to have that big an impact, right? You should invest in people who own and know how to run their own company, and you can provide some guidance and that. But that spark that drives everything, that really has to lie with the founders. And so there's this weird, you can add some value, but at the end of the day, it has to come from you guys. But I think, some VCs may have a harder time than others with that. But
Nice. I think we're...
Yeah, I think it's all we had.
Yes.
But thank you so much, both of you, for super interesting conversation,
No
also letting us into your founder and investor relationship.
Yeah. which is super inspiring. I think a lot of people would like to drink beer with their investors.
Yeah, we only
So
had
that's
2, as
amazing.
I was saying. My girlfriend.
No, but it's lots of learnings from your relationship. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.